Highlights of Bud's Creek, final Pro Motocross and regular season race of the year. And a track the riders love to compete on, and that includes this guy who had the hair even dialed for championship day. I missed that.
Yeah, I missed that one too. He had the bonds going on.
Wow.
Oh.
So Hayden Deegan loves this track. He's one of the riders that likes it, and he loves the situation he's in. He only needed a 15th in a single moto to wrap up the championship, but he gets cut off the start by Joe Shimoda. Seth Hammaker, Tom Vial going to battle for the lead early with Shimoda third.
Yeah, well, the day started off good for Tom, and the way he's been riding ever since he came back from that injury, thought maybe he'd have a little fight, at least for the podium, but things would be tough, and this was the first red flag.
That's Pranger, a rider out of Canada. His first Pro Motocross start in America. He goes down, and that leads to a red flag restart. But Tom Vial, Joe Shimoda, and Hayden Deegan there all jump uphill. You can see there's Vial. There's Shimoda making a pass while jumping the jump that they're not supposed to jump with the flag out. And then Deegan making a pass, doing the same. So points penalties assessed for jumping and position penalties assessed to Shimoda and Deegan for jumping and passing.
Yeah, there was a couple other guys that got the points, but they didn't make passes. And Louds, as we get through this, you'll see why that mattered.
Yep, so a restart. Deegan a little bit better off the start this time. Vial, justice is served, but back out front again.
Yeah, Tom Vial, but that allows Cole Davies to slide up into that second spot. Hayden Deegan was a couple positions behind him, and this was like the second lap. Cole greased that downhill, gets close to Tom, and Tom loses the front end. Tough day for him. It only got worse, but it allowed Cole Davies out front. Now, Tom did get up, start putting in a fight, but Joe Shimoda, after he saw Hayden Deegan up front starting to close in on his teammate, he saw the sense of urgency. Had any chance to get close to him, he needed to get around Tom Vial. And this was a move for the race. Hayden Deegan goes past his teammate. Cole Davies did a great job at keeping him at bay for a handful of laps, but eventually that number one would get there and made a nice pass going up the hill. And then you're going to watch Joe Shimoda a few laps later do the same thing, go around the outside. He saw his Hayden Deegan do it. He knew he needed to go a little bit closer than Joe thought, but nonetheless, he would make that pass and did his best to try to close in on Hayden Deegan for the lead. But Hayden's just a little bit better today, just a tick off.
And then late in the race, Seth Hammaker, who wanted an overall podium this year, was in the top 5, in position to fight for it. He ends up having a bike problem with 2 laps to go. Deegan, as we said, only needed a 15th in a moto. Well, the moto win is going to be more than enough to do that, and he is headed toward clinching his second straight 250 championship.
I thought he had the moto.
Yeah, no. It sure looked like a moto win.
Yeah, it was a moto win.
And it was enough to wrap the title, but we'll get to those penalties that you saw with the red flag in a moment. Shimoda finishes second. There's Davies finishing third. But then after the moto, Shimoda and Deegan were giving 1 position penalties, and thus Deegan ends up finishing second officially, and Davies with the moto win in just his 3rd ever Pro Motocross start. Moto 2, Davies buried off the start, so not going to be a factor here. Deegan and Nate Thrasher battling for the lead.
Yeah, he had 3 Yamahas up front. Nate closed him down right there, but Hayden Deegan, he came out to this moto with a mission. Bummer to see Lux Turner. He was on the bubble. He needed a great day. Tough first moto. Even worse on the second moto. And the same thing with Austin. Improvements this year, but this was for the lead before the red flag. Hayden Deegan slide up the inside of his teammate, try to put that gap on Joe Shimoda, and I think he came out here. I know he came out this moto with a purpose. You're going to see Joe Shimoda do the same thing as he gets past Nate Thrasher. Be that close to Hayden Deegan, but you're going to just continue to watch Hayden Deegan just pull away.
And then Parker Ross goes down, and as he gets remounted, here comes Julian Beaumer.
Yeah, tough position. You see Parker got up, he was checking his thing. Julian didn't anticipate him slowing down, runs in the back of him, and that was a tough hit for him. So bummed to see him, especially after coming off an injury, but hopefully gets off the racetrack. Hopefully it's not too serious and he'll be back in a couple weeks.
And then Tom Vial, by the way, didn't even line up for that second moto. So a rough day for the KTM riders. This is the restart procedure. They released off the line in the order they were running. Deegan versus Shimoda.
Well, you knew, Joe, Hayden's been a little bit quicker all day long, and you can't make up that time. So you thought his effort was going to be in these opening couple laps after that restart. But Hayden Deegan was not having none of that. He came out firing and had about a 4-second lead in a couple laps, and that was all she wrote.
There it is. This is a moto win that will stick. No penalties this time. That means he's 2-1 of the day. For the overall win, Dad's happy. The throng of Deegan fans are happy. Championship and race win to end his 250 motocross career. And there's Shimoda and Levi Kitchen consistent on the day. Back up on the podium for the first time in a while. There's the championship trophy. And there are the fans.
Well, that's all she wrote. Congratulations, Hayden.
Way to get it done. Cole Davies, so far his motocross career results are 23, 23, 117 in the 4 motos he has competed in outdoors as a pro. That's good enough for 7th overall today, the 117. Masterpool, 6th, as he's starting to climb back into it after missing some races at mid-season. Here are the final championship points in pro motocross. Garrett Marchbank's a great season, 3rd, ahead of Kitchen, and Vial drifts back to 5th. Shout out to Mikkel Harrop, racing in the United States for the first time this summer, 6th, even despite getting hurt last week at Unadilla, not competing today at Bud's.